Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about a blog and a book. My name is Chef de Kok, by the way. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the blog. The blog is called Hand Luggage Only. It consists out of two bloggers. The guy on the right is called Lloyd, and the guy on the left is called Yaya. They got my attention on YouTube. The look and feel that I got from the guys is that they are very structured. The bloggers look very structured. Why are they so structured? I think because they travel a lot and because they have to plan a lot of things. They don't have a lot of time to visit different spots and different places or also different restaurants. So they really have to plan everything and be structured. They also just look very playful, they always look very casual, and I think the blog really reflects that. They look very adventurous, I mean they are very adventurous. I think if you travel a lot, you have to be a bit of adventurous, that makes sense. And they're also very creative. They take a lot of pictures from different angles and they add to different filters, so they are very creative. From that point. This is also a picture from the guys. It's pretty basic photo, but I think it still has something creative about it. The personality, they are very friendly and helpful. Why do I think that? Because they travel, the travel blogs they make, it's sometimes there are lists about top 10 places you have to visit at a city, or 10 things to do, so that you don't have to look it up by yourself, but they just help you. They also have like a blog post about saving money while you're traveling. As we all know, traveling is really expensive, so that's a really helpful blog post, for example. They just look very amusing, because if I would be traveling by my own and I would go to a bar and I would meet some people, I could only hope that they would be like these guys. The website itself is just very structured. You can find everything back. They make different type of blogs. They make blogs about traveling and about food. So if you want to only see the food blogs or only the travel blogs, you can, because of the options on the website. It's very user friendly, the website, even a child can actually use it. They have different widgets, not too much though, but like a search bar, for example, if you want to look up a specific city or a specific subject you hope they wrote about, you can just look it up on the website. You also got a chance to share their blog posts or blogs on social media, so you can promote the guys. And you also got the option to post a comment on a blog post or just on the blog in general. The website itself also, you get a clear view of the logo. The community is quite big. I ain't going to sum them all up, but like 389,000 followers on Pinterest is quite impressive to me. You also get the option to subscribe to their email. So you get some emails sometimes. They now have 32,000 subscribers. The structure is just nice to browse. It's very well structured. It has a lot of pictures and not too much text. So if you are not that interested in a lot of details, you should definitely check the blog out. To put it in a nutshell, if you like traveling, visiting places and food from all over the world, you should definitely check the blog out. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the book, of course, like I said. The book is called Brand Famous. It's a book by Lindsay Boyd. She started as an entrepreneur, a successful one, so that makes the book really credible to read. I'm going to shortly tell you what the book is actually about. It's like the book says itself, about brand fame, but actually how to get brand fame. It really focuses on people who are starting a business or having a business. It explains to you in different steps how to reach brand fame or how to become brand famous. To support those different steps, Lindsay gives you a lot of examples of her own experiences in the world of branding. You can compare it with a lot of current events. The book is very relevant actually. Like branding is timeless and very important. I think we all know that. Back in the day, if your product was good, you were settled, but now people expect way more. Your brand has to be about something, there has to be a story behind your brand. So it's a bit more complicated than that these days, and that's explained in the book how to do that. The influencers, I think we all know that influencers are really booming right now. It's just that influencers in the book is talked about. They tell you how, like she tells you how to approach them, how to talk with them, when you should use them, how you should use them, just yeah, and how you can benefit from a partnership with an influencer. Like there's also talked about companies like Coca-Cola and Adidas using influencers in the book, so that's very interesting to read. And of course, social media is the tool in branding or just in marketing in general. It has been like that for a couple of years, and it will stay like that for a couple of years and probably decades. So in the book is talked a lot about social media. Even in the book they say going social is a big step for going global. COVID-19 is unfortunately the subject of the moment and also the reason why we are doing the presentation like this. But like you can already see people adapting their brand to the epidemic right now. Like, I don't know if you remember the commercial from Dove that is airing right now. It's a commercial that lasts 20 seconds, and in those 20 seconds they explain to you why and how you should wash your hands for 20 seconds. So that's also branding, of course, and that's what I wanted to say about the current events in the book. The article I chose is an article I found on the website of Forbes magazine. It's called Revolutionary Branding, Survival Guide for Small Enterprises or Businesses, Startups and Non-Profits. It's written by David Gass. It consists out of 3 tips, and you can link those tips heavily with the things that are said in the book. Like the first tip is make sure your value proposition is strong. In the book is talked about in the beginning about how and why you should search for your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition is actually the same as value proposition. It's just very important that people know what your USP is, that it makes really clear what your brand is about. Because make sure you know your USP before launching a product. It's just a big tool of your strategy. Make sure your website reflects your value proposition. Of course, your website is just important, that everything what your brand is just about, that it's clear on the website, that the customer clearly sees what your USP is and what you're just doing with your company. Lastly, get the word out. That's really what the book is about, because getting the word out is PR and just branding in general, that the whole wide world knows what your brand is actually about. And also what I wanted to say about the website, I forgot to say it, is your website is just a good tool to make sure the customer gets the information from the horse's mouth. Why should you read it? I think you should definitely read it if you're starting a business or when you already have a business. So I don't think the book was actually made for me, because they talk about different steps and you get a lot of questions about your brand, and you have to reflect your brand, and it's not that easy to make something up all the time. But don't get me wrong, it was still a good read, because I got to know a little bit, actually a lot more about branding in general. So if I'm going to start a business maybe in the future, or if I am then I'll probably know a lot of things I can use from the book. It was just a comfortable read because of the layout. It was just a lot of white spaces. The colors were very nice, so you can read it. It was nice. These are the idioms I've used. These are the 5 words I've used from the book units. 5 words from the extra marketing vocabulary. I'm also going to place the PowerPoint on Canvas so that you don't have to look on the screen only for checking the words out and for the sentences. Thank you for your attention and stay safe. Thank you. And this is also my source.